called the fighter and his lawyer and said, what's going on? There's some weird betting action going on in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you? And the kid said, no, absolutely not. I'm going to kill this guy. And, so we said, okay. The fight plays out. First round finish. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI.
Dana White sends clear warning message to UFC fighters of their fixing scandal. Dana White involves the FBI in a massive gambling case. And now, FBI cops announce arrest warrants for UFC fighters exposed in a new gambling scandal. They're going to federal prison.
They're going to go to federal prison. Federal prison.
Those aren't empty words. That's UFC President Dana White's direct warning as federal investigators close in on fighters who thought they could beat the system. The warning has been sent. The FBI has been called, and arrest warrants are now in play. This is no longer just about suspensions or fines. This is about criminal charges, federal prosecution, and fighters facing years behind bars.
Is there a point where gambling or the odds makers try to come and infiltrate the actual outcome of sports?
No.
Which would be hard in your sport, I think, because these guys have so much individual pride and it would be so obvious.
100%. We just had the problem that we have, it just happened recently, is insider information is the bigger problem. These guys inside these camps, the guy gets hurt, so he lets these offshore guys know, yeah, this guy's going to fight, and he tore his ACL.
Or he did this,
something
definitely?
like that. This happened.
He did.
Yeah, this just happened recently.
Let me be crystal clear about what Dana White said, because this wasn't a casual press conference comment. This was a declaration. When asked about the UFC's response to the gambling investigation, Dana White didn't hold back. People are asking me, well, what's the UFC gonna do? Listen, we let these guys know not to bet on fights. Do you know what the outcome of this is? Like, if I penalize them, you get cut. They're going to go to federal prison.
People are asking me, well, what were they talking about? Somebody was saying, well, what's the UFC gonna do? Listen, we let these guys know not to bet on fights. Do you know what the outcome of this is? Like, if I penalize them, you get cut. They're gonna go to federal prison. Federal prison.
Federal prison. Not suspended, not fined, not banned from the sport. And White didn't stop there. He made it abundantly clear what would happen to anyone trying to fix fights or manipulate betting markets. If you try to do this, I've been very vocal and very open about this. We will be your worst enemy. We will immediately go after you, guns blazing, with the FBI and whoever else we need to get, and we will do everything we can to make sure you go to prison.
If you try to do this, I've been very vocal and very open about this. We will be your worst enemy. We will immediately go after you, guns a-blazing, with the FBI and whoever else we need to get. And we will do everything we can to make sure you go to prison.
Guns blazing. That's not corporate speak. That's Dana White telling fighters, you're done. Here's what most people don't understand. This isn't just the UFC investigating itself. This is a federal criminal investigation led by the FBI. And it all started with one suspicious fight. November 5th, 2022, UFC Fight Night, 214, Derek Minor versus Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. Around 1 p.m. that day, the UFC's monitoring company, IC360, the best bet monitoring company in the business, contacted Dana White's team with alarming news.
Probably about 1 o'clock that day, we're with a company called IC360, and they are the best bet monitoring company in the business. And they reached out to us and they told us that there was some unusual action going on with that fight. Do we know anything?
The UFC immediately contacted the fighter and his lawyer. What's going on? There's weird betting action in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you?
What's going on? There's some weird action going on in your bet. Weird betting action going on in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you to...
The fighter denied everything. Said he was ready to fight. Said he'd kill this guy. The fight lasted 48 seconds. First round finish, exactly as the suspicious bets predicted. And then Dana White did something that changed everything. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI.
Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI.
Arrest warrants are being prepared, and the targets, the people at the center of this massive gambling ring. James Krause, the ringleader. Former UFC fighter turned coach, ran Glory MMA Gym. But behind the scenes, Krause operated something called the 1% Club, a gambling Discord group with up to 2,000 members. Krause had insider information, injuries, training camp conditions, fighter readiness, and he was selling it. But that's not enough. Federal prosecutors want him in prison.
I take over people's accounts and play for them. Like I post the losses.
I actually hit him up before the fights last night and threw 10,000 on him. He gave me 100% picks.
Right.
Yeah.
And just curious, like the Moreno fight, like fights that you're involved in, will you bet on those too?
Derek Minor, the fighter who threw the fight Minor, entered that November 2022 fight with an undisclosed knee injury, an injury his coach, James Krause, knew about, an injury that was shared with the gambling Discord. Minor lasted 48 seconds before the injury caused him to lose.
If he was hurt or not, he was getting beat. What does he think? Because he was hurt that guy beat him? No. So the guy from Singapore, China, wherever the hell he's from from Asia somewhere, that guy was going to break this guy in half.
Multiple fighters have come forward, some claiming they were approached to fix fights, and Dana White had strong words for them. It's really weird that fighters are coming out now saying they were approached. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell law enforcement? Now you're going to be approached by the FBI.
It's really weird that fighters are coming out now saying they were approached. And they're going to be approached now by the FBI.
Dana White has made it clear. The UFC has been working with the FBI from day one. Full transparency, full cooperation, full access. When news of the FBI investigation and potential arrest warrants broke, social media exploded. Fighters and fans expressed shock, outrage, and demands for justice. Finally, these guys are going to federal prison. Dana wasn't playing. I'm starting to think they'll never arrest Krause. This is stealing from everyone who bet honestly. Sports are rigged. This proves the UFC had a problem.
We didn't. So what we did was we called the fighter and his lawyer and said, what's going on? There's some weird action going on in your bet. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? And the kid said, no, absolutely not. So we said, okay, the fight plays out. First round finish by rear naked choke. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI.
Here's what Dana White's warning really means for the entire UFC roster. IC 360 monitors. Every fight from the first prelim to the main event. Unusual betting patterns? They're flagged immediately. Dana White has a direct line to federal law enforcement. He's met with agents multiple times. If you try to fix a fight, you're not just fighting the UFC. You're fighting the federal government. Offshore sports books, Discord groups, private betting rings. The FBI can trace all of it. Wire fraud laws apply when money crosses state lines. Conspiracy charges apply when multiple people are involved.
One fight in particular, the line changed right before the fight from like, I think the favorite was like maybe minus 220 or something like that to then like negative 450, which is a 4-1 favorite. And more specifically, it was like of a KO in the first round, and it happened in like 48 seconds.
Even if you avoid criminal charges, the UFC will cut you. Regulatory commissions will suspend you. Other promotions won't touch you. Your fighting career is done. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a UFC problem. The NBA is currently dealing with its own betting scandal involving players and coaches. Professional sports are under siege from gambling corruption.
I hate to see anybody in our sport do anything illegal, but fight fixing is absolutely insane. To get to this level and go out and be a part of fight. And I'm not saying this kid's guilty. You know what I mean? There's no proof that he's done this yet, but I can tell you this, it doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good.
But Dana White has made one thing clear, not in the UFC, not on his watch. Dana White sent the warning. The FBI is investigating. Arrest warrants are in play. Instead, they're facing federal prosecution, criminal charges, and years behind bars.
There's no proof that he's done this yet, but I can tell you this, it doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good. We approached him before the fight, he and his lawyer, and they denied that anything, from everything. Are you hurt?
The message to every UFC fighter is clear. Fix a fight, manipulate betting markets, use insider information, and you're going to federal prison. This investigation isn't over. The FBI is still building cases, and when those arrest warrants are executed, the entire MMA world will be watching.
You know what I mean? there's no proof that he's done this yet, but I can tell you this, it doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good.
He's just a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him on a silver platter by his dad.
Do you think he actually got injured or no? Or what do you think happened?
No, he's a little bitch ass. Dana shot him down in that interview. I was like, whoa.
You miss opportunities sometimes, and he did.
And you shit your pants. Know what I mean? That's what you did. You farted and followed through and had shit coming down your leg.
Major warning. What you're about to read might change everything you thought about the UFC lightweight division. The MMA world is absolutely exploding after Paddy the Baddy Pimblett's career-defining destruction of Michael Chandler at UFC 314. But what happened after the fight has everyone losing their minds.
You plan to call him out?
Anyone in the top 5, lad, I don't care. Like, it doesn't have to be a certain person. Like, it can be Armin, it can be Charles, it can be Justin, it can be Dustin. I just want to fight whoever's going to get me to that title.
In a post-fight interview that's already being called the most disrespectful call-out in UFC history, the Liverpool phenom viciously targeted #1 contender Arman Tsarukyan, saying things we can't even repeat here. The Armenian fighter's silence since then has fans asking, is the UFC's top lightweight contender actually terrified of the baddie?
Paddy Pimblett showed tonight that he is the real deal. Beating Michael Chandler and beating him the way that he did, I don't know how you can doubt the kid anymore.
It would seem likely that next fight out, he's going to get a big name opponent, right? And probably that would be the one that put him into title contention.
Tonight was a pretty big name opponent too. But yeah, he's in that spot now where he's going to be fighting top guys, yeah.
Even more shocking, Dana White's reaction backstage was caught on camera with the UFC boss telling reporters, Paddy's not a boy anymore. What we saw tonight was a man ready for the title picture. Could this be the most explosive rivalry the UFC has seen in years? Is Arman hiding from Liverpool's rising star? Or is this all part of a bigger plan? What do you think about this insane situation? Would Arman survive against Paddy's new and improved ground game? Is Dana setting up the biggest title eliminator of 2025? Drop your predictions in the comments below and let us know if you'd pay to see this mega fight happen.
It is the king of the north, Paddy Pimblett. Welcome to the land of the elite.
Wow. Paddy Pimblett is an animal.
Oh, Paddy the...
This past weekend, Paddy Pimblett delivered what many are calling a career-defining performance against former title challenger Michael Chandler at UFC 314. The Liverpudlian wasn't just impressive, he was dominant, finishing Chandler via TKO in the 3rd round. But it's what happened after the fight that has the MMA community buzzing. In his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, Pimblett unleashed a verbal assault on several top lightweights, including Arman Tsarukyan.
You still overeat when you go out to eat much? I know you've talked about it, and I fucking resonated with that so much. Like, if I get high before I go out to eat, like, and I'm getting a good cheeseburger.
Gluttony.
God damn it. It's such a pain in the ass.
When you're always dieting and cutting weight, do you think that makes you, like, more prone to doing that?
Dude, look at the reason Paddy the Baddy gets as big as he is, because it's like, you get this mental disorder. I ate strict as fuck for about 10 weeks before that fight. Like, I would have a little cheat meal on a Saturday, but the closer we got to the fight, 4 or 5 weeks out, I was just eating so clean to where right after it's like I'll order 2 cheeseburgers, fucking some appetizers, and just eat until I'm so uncomfortable and so much pain.
Oh my god, look at Paddy. I'm gonna send you a video, Jamie. This dude.
And I know that's just not good for you. How much he gets up to 200 pounds. That's like me getting up to like 190 or 185.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude.
It's sad. It's like
clip Pimblett's post-fight interview. Let's hear exactly what the baddie said about Tsarukyan. Arman, he's a little helmet. That sausage. While Pimblett showed respect to other fighters like Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje, he clearly has serious bad blood with Tsarukyan.
Arman's a little bitch ass.
Why don't you like Arman so bad, man?
He's a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him. He's got about 40 cars or something.
40 cars?
Yeah, something stupid like that. $1 million cars, lad.
You're a liar, Paddy.
Lad, have you not seen his Instagram?
No, he's rich.
Yeah.
Arman's a rich kid?
Yeah, he's a rich kid.
I had no idea.
Dad's a multi-millionaire, isn't he? Dad's got a big crazy business. He's a multi-millionaire. Never had to work hard for nothing in his life. Everything's being passed down to him on a silver platter. He's had everything handed to him. He even got the title shot handed to him, and then he shit his pants. All the doctors told him the there's nothing wrong with you, you can fight, and he shit himself. He got gifted the decision over Charles. I didn't think he won that fight. He just sat on top of him. You don't win fights anymore by just doing this. You know what I mean? Just got holding on to one guard.
I can't really judge nobody for that. I used to do that when I would get a little nervous.
This rivalry didn't start at UFC 314. In fact, these two have been exchanging words for months. Back in April, during an appearance on the Full Send podcast, Pimblett unleashed on Tsarukyan. The old guard of the lightweight division, they're all on the way out. In the next 2 or 3 years, the top 10 is going to look completely different. The only person in the top 10 who is under 30 that I can think of is Arman Tsarukyan. He's just a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him on a silver platter by his dad. He's a little bitch ass. That's what you are, Arman, a little bitch boy.
The only person in the top 10 I can think of who's under 35 is Arman Tsarukyan. He's just a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him on a silver platter by his dad. Oh, he's a little bitch ass. That's what you are, Arman. Little boy. And then he was doing them videos where he flips forward on his neck.
Right.
And then he's saying that he's got a bad back. Dana said, didn't he? It was Dana shot him down in that interview. I was like, whoa, that's heavy, that. You don't want the boss saying that about you. But because he got asked, didn't he, is Arman still number one?
Right.
And he was like, no, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
He basically said that like doctors come out and Hedda, the best masseuse in the PI, come out and they never said to him, you can't fight. He decided he's not going to fight. So basically, Arman, you shit your pants. Know what I mean? That's what you did. You farted and followed through and had shit coming down your leg.
Pimblett was referring to Tsarukyan pulling out of his scheduled title fight against Islam Makhachev at UFC 311 in January due to a last-minute back injury. The withdrawal clearly left a bad taste in Pimblett's mouth. He was doing videos where he flips forward on his neck, then he's saying that he's got a bad back. Dana said, Dana shot him down in that interview. That's heavy. You don't want the boss saying that about you because he got asked if Arman is still number one. He was like, no, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. Basically, Arman, you shit your pants. You farted and followed through, and now there's shit coming down your leg.
Patty, on a Full Send podcast, you had some words for Arman Tsarukyan. What prompted you to say that, and did you hear his response?
Yeah, the seen his response, it tickled me, made me laugh. It's just being honest, you know what I mean? I'm just brutally honest, I can't lie. If someone ever get asked about someone, I'm going to be honest. I seen him say in an interview the other week that I don't watch anybody not in the top 5. I won't watch Chandler and Pimblett. Well, what are you tweeting me for then? You know what I mean? If you weren't concerned about people who aren't in the top 5, you wouldn't be tweeting me when I've said something about you. Like, people who say stuff about me, what are beneath me, I don't mention it, I just leave them to it. But, you know, I must be in his head. It's not my fault he shit his pants.
Tsarukyan didn't take these comments lying down. He fired back on Twitter. Says the guy who got the easiest path to the top in UFC just because he's got a funny accent and budget Beatles haircut. I dare you to call me out if you win, and we will see who will shit his pants in the octagon when we meet, clown.
Patty Pimblett against Michael Chandler. You got Chandler, you got Patty.
I don't know, they're both not good, so I don't follow them. I don't watch their fights because they're not on my level.
You only watch fights that are on your level.
Yeah, top 5 fighters or real contenders fights.
Who do you see as the #1 pound-for-pound guy in the UFC right now?
Of course, it's John Jones.
John Jones?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We got to get him fighting Tom Aspinall.
That's the fight everybody wants to see, even me, because young guy versus like GOAT.
And those are the guys that are on your level, so of course you tune in and watch those types of fights.
Of course, like this fight, you can never miss it.
After Pimblett's dominant win and call-out, fans were eagerly awaiting Tsarukyan's response. But what we got was silence, at least regarding Pimblett. Instead, Tsarukyan posted a video of himself hitting the heavy bag with this caption. Many have been asking when the fight is. I am calm, training, focused, and waiting for my moment. Sports aren't always about fair, but I believe if you put in the work, don't give up and stay true to yourself, everything will come. The key is to be ready when the time comes. No mention of Pimblett. No response to the call-out. Nothing. But Tsarukyan's fans were quick to take up the fight on his behalf.